right, let's talk. So, talking about a breakout stars, and honestly, for the Pistons to make that jump, as the roster is constructed, a lot of people say it was a letdown because they didn't get that shot creator. And I don't even think people are saying it's are really questioning the camaraderie of the team. I think that's the bigger question. Kind of losing Tobias, losing Stu. If you had asked a lot of fans, they would be like, well, they should have got rid of Dern and kept Paul and Stu and brought somebody else in, But, I think eventually Dern is going to get a deal. I heard, I might speak on it in video format. Y'all probably see it before this one, where Beef Stu was like, he spoke on it and said Dern feel like you got to use the whole body of work and not just the playoffs. And I love how people see shit from their perspective. Live in reality. The most important part of the season, where we trying to go. I mean, I don't know if they feel like they quite the championship caliber team. I say for that video. But as to be honest with you, the breakout guys that really need to break out is Asar Thompson and Ron Holland. I believe they're championship caliber. They're the favorites if they both get an offensive game. And Ron is way more closer. Ron is a willing shooter. Ron ain't hesitating. Ron will shoot that corner three, and he'll make it sometimes, or he'll miss it most times, but he'll shoot it. Ron can handle the ball. Ron can get to the rack. And I watched Ron shoot some threes and work out this summer. There was some opportunities where I seen him in one open run video, and he's driving the layup. If I'm talking to him, hey man, when we get in that dribble, I want to work on you pulling up from 10 to 15 feet from that free throw line. We know you can get to the rim and finish at the rim with the best of them, to be honest. For Ron Hollins, it's about getting stronger. It's about working on your jumper. And, most of the priority for guys working on their jumper is to shoot threes. My priority for these guys is really just starting off right in front of the basket, starting off, slightly off the block, shooting elbow jumpers, just shooting the little mid-range jumpers. Working on pulling up, working on, dribbling, escape dribble, pull up, working on catching. I really have these guys work for mid-range. And I was just kind of watching, one of Ron's, his highlight films. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I would just like to see him it's kind of like either he going to shoot the three. It's like he's going to shoot the three or he gonna drive it. And like I said, he's a phenomenal finisher, but I like to see him pull up right at that free throw line. That's my opinion. I like to see him pull up from that free throw line. A pull-up jumper would do him well. A push shot. I mean, for Asar Thompson, a floater. But one of those guys have to step up offensively. It was jump shot wise. And I don't think it's just enough for them guys to sit in a corner or sit on a wing. And, I think it's enough where I can, pump fake, where I can drive it, hit a floater, drive it, hit a Rip Hamilton pull-up mid-range jumper. That's kind of more what I'm thinking. But if you need two guys to really, break out, in a way, and it makes the team elite if they break out offensively. It makes the team, if they both can offensively shoot the ball, in a in-game situation and really shoot it and really get their package together, they don't need nobody else. Because one thing, if you can play Ron and Asar out there, you can put Ron at the 4. I'm not worried about size. It's not 99. He'll be okay. Ron can defend. Them two guys defending and not being an offensive liability on the floor, bro, the Pistons can win a championship like that. They got 3 of the best defenders you will find. Thompson may be the best. Ron, people just don't know it. He may be one of the top 5 best. Cade is in the top 10 analytical. Bro, it's elite, bro. That's what you really want. Ron can play 2, Ron play 3, Ron play the 4. But they really need those guys to break out. And then if you had a real third candidate out there, you probably would need a Buka or Corey to have a coming out party this year. But I believe the assumption from me, and I believe most people on the Piston fair, is that he's going to be Sasser. He's just going to ride the bench. But I think moving on from Karis LeVert, they don't have that luxury. You know, now I don't know what the roster going to look like at the end of the day. But unless they get DeMar DeRozan or somebody else on that wing, which I think will happen by the trade deadline this year, I don't think the Pistons are, depending on where they at, record-wise, I don't think the Pistons are going to play with the trade deadline this year. I think a lot of the guys that had super, super high value, overinflated value, KD, Kyrie, all these guys, reality is going to check in by February. Maybe by some people by January. You're going to see some of these dudes, you know, get moved, bro. I'm telling you that. It's going to be opportunities to buy. But the thing is, you know, they still need that development from those guys. So I think a third strong candidate would be Ibuka Okori. And if you can get him to give you something as a shot creator, they're in a great position. Of course, Dennis Jenkins might want to make that step up, and maybe he may be the answer to play next to Cade Cunningham. You know, Cade Cunningham coming back healthy, wasn't healthy in the play, taking that next step. And obviously, if you pay Jalen Duren, taking that next step. In this order, this needs to happen. There's in this order, the 5 players they need to break out on this roster, the importance is in this order. Asar Thompson, Ron Hollins, Ibuka Okori, Jalen Duren, Dennis Jenkins, Cade Cunningham. In that order. If they can get outside of Cade Cunningham, and I say Jenkins, I think Jenkins is, you know, but let's just say outside of those two, they need 2 of those guys to make monumental leaps in the right categories. You know, in the right kid. They need 2 of those guys. You know what I'm saying? If they can make a monumental leap, may it be Asar, may it be, you know, Duren, may it be Hollins, may it be Ibuka. If they can get a monumental leap from those 2 guys, the Pistons ain't have to do nothing. But in general, you know, they got to get that leap from 1 and 2 of those, and especially one of those guys being on the perimeter. But we'll see, man. But in general, you know, I think if you had to ask me who's gonna be the breakout guy this year, who's gonna break the fuck out for the Pistons, it's gonna be Ron Holland. I just got a funny suspicion that Holland is gonna break out this season. You know, especially if they pay Asar Thompson. You may see Holland break out, but I could be wrong, you know. But hey, check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist for more videos like this. Hype the video, thumbs up the video, subscribe, hit the link in the description. It literally says follow me everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, just to name a few. TikTok. Peace.